We are going live at 11:30 p.m. EST to share our first reactions, talk book versus show changes, and dig into the lore of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I am Uzma, and this is Morgan. Hello, Morgan.
Hi.
And whether you are a book reader or completely new to this series, you are welcomed here. So let's start with a quick overview of episode 1. Morgan, do you want to give us a quick review, quick summary of this episode?
Absolutely. So, first of all, I love the episode. Uh, Second of all, I'll just say what we saw today in quick review is that Sir Duncan, has just buried Sir Arlen, the knight who raised him to manhood. Then he went to an inn on his way to attorney, and there he met Egg, who asked to squire for him. Dunk said, "Nope," and moved along to the tourney, though he was feeling pretty out of his depth. Eventually, he was led to a tent run by Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm, and he ended up in this sort of debauched dance off party. Uh, Later, when he returned to his own camp, he found that Egg, the boy, had shown up and proved he could tend things as a squire. Dunk agreed tentatively to take Egg on as his squire, but only for now.
Yeah, I really loved this episode. And there were so many things they added. And remember, we discussed last week that they will turn Dunk's internal monologues into interactions and conversations. And that's what they did. So that was really
Exactly.
amazing to watch. Yeah, and loved the changes. It did
Yeah.
feel kind of weird, at least just at the beginning after he were buried Sir Arlen and was talking to the horses. So that moment might have felt a little bit weird, but other than that, I think the changes worked well, right?
Yeah, it definitely gives Dunk a slightly different vibe when he's talking to the horses and assigning the horses uh, messages that he feels they're giving to him. It was a bit not what I expected for Dunk. However, that particular aspect aside, the rest of the changes made perfect sense for changing from uh, a text to screen, and I liked them very
Yeah.
much. And if
Yeah.
you in the audience, anybody who's watching decides that they have any other changes that they thought were particularly interesting, good or bad, feel free to comment.
Yeah, let us know what you think. And there were a lot of tiny details that we they added on the show. Like rem- remember how Darren puts a golden three-headed dragon coin on the table. So
Yes.
they didn't reveal his identity, but they kind of gave a hint to who he was. And there was I did not expect to see Dunk taking a shit on the show, but there was a bird on the tree there. Was it a robin?
I don't know birds very well, but I'm gonna say
Same.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. That maybe he saw the robin, and if the theory about him lying about Alan knighting him is true, then maybe he really just came up with Robin being the only witness to Sir Alan knighting him, because there were a lot of flashbacks to his childhood and the things he referenced, but we never saw a flashback to Sir Alan knighting Dunk, right? What do you think? Do you think he
That's
knighted Dunk?
that's a good point, and it's something I thought about while I was reading the books. But when reading the books, the way that Dunk operates,
Yeah.
like he's not the most honest person in the world. However, he's pretty freaking honorable, and
Yeah.
he doesn't lean into lying except when like absolutely necessary for like the
Yeah.
survival of other people and stuff like that. So I really, really don't think that Dunk lied about being knighted. Um,
But there were several
it
moments in the books that made me doubt him, because there was one moment when he thought maybe I could squire for some other knight. But if he had been knighted, why would he think about squiring for another knight?
well, because partially because first of all, he'd have run out of money. In that context, the idea was that if he lost the tournament and he lost all of his belongings and he couldn't
Yeah,
go on acting as a knight,
yeah,
then he wasn't so proud as to be a penniless knight with nothing. He would do what he needed to do. So squiring for another knight, sure, it would be degrading and he wouldn't be happy. But I got
yeah,
the vibe that it was something that he would do just because life required it, not because he wasn't really a knight.
yeah. But he also mentions that he doesn't know any other kind of life. So being a Hedge Knight is the only thing he has. He can't even imagine his life any other way. So maybe he thought that's the only way he can live and survive. And maybe that's the reason why he doesn't feel so confident in front of other knights, because he is lying about being knighted.
It's possible, but also, I think the show showed us a moment that they didn't show in the book.
Yeah,
In the show, he's talking. I can't remember exactly what he said. Sir Arlen
yeah.
um he said Sir Arlen had always intended to make him a knight, and then they flash back to him saying, "Sir Arlen, you intend to make me a knight, right?" And
And
Sir
he
Arlen
doesn't
doesn't
reply.
respond.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder a little bit, especially with them adding in him talking to the horses,
Yeah.
whether they're kind of leaning into the fact that Dunk might be a little bit delusional. Not that he's necessarily lying, but that
Yeah.
he's reading into situations and interpreting them and taking them a little bit beyond what really happened.
Yeah, like when he said, "You never beat me," and then there are immediate flashbacks of Sir Alan beating Dunk all the time.
Right.
Did you notice
Well,
that?
he said, yeah, but he did say, "Except when I deserved it," except that one time, but
Yeah.
that wasn't me.
But that wasn't just one time. We saw him
Well, no,
beating
no. I
Dunk
think he's
multiple
saying that
times.
the I think what he's saying is that he believed he deserved it all the other times. At least
Yeah.
that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, that's possible.
But yeah,
I thought
but
maybe he
yes,
was lying, or remembering it like he wanted to honor Sir Aaron, so he wasn't remembering it correctly or something.
right. Like he's seeing, like his memory is seeing the world through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, but you have a fair point. Maybe he just meant he only beat Dunk one time and he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, and all
Yeah.
the other times he.
And also they added a 7-star coin. Uh, I discussed that in my trailer breakdown video. In the Dunk's longsword, there was a
Yeah.
7 pointed star. Remember, we discussed it last time as well. So they mentioned it this time that he put a penny, maybe a copper penny, in the longsword. In the books, they have a black stone instead of that. Why do you think they changed that? Like, is there any importance to putting a
Well,
coin?
I think maybe relating it's related to the name, Arlen
Yeah.
of Pettytree. Um
Yeah.
and so there's references throughout the books about Sir Arlen being from Pennytree, but that
Yeah.
Dunk has never been to Pennytree, has
Yeah.
never seen Pennytree. He and Arlen traveled for years together and they never went to Pennytree. So
Mhm.
it makes me kind of wonder, is Pennytree a place, right? Or is it just that he was a knight with a penny who was sleeping under a tree and someone called him the Knight of the Penny Tree?
I never thought of it, but yeah, you may have a point. But if that was the case, someone might have noticed it. Uh, Someone might have pointed it out. That is, it's
Well,
not a place.
that's the thing is that I don't think many of the other characters know where Pennytree is either. That's the thing with Westeros, with little tiny villages. They don't
Yeah,
know what all the little villages are. They know the major cities. Anything else is just known to the locals.
yeah. I guess that's possible. Okay.
Uh,
Moving on. What do you think? Sorry, what were you saying?
no, go ahead.
Moving on to our favorite scenes. What was your favorite scene in the show?
So, uh, my favorite scene, not the whole sequence, but just the individual little piece of scene, is the dance off. I loved the dance off. Um, I loved the faces and the
Yeah.
movements that Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm, was making. I watched the little video after the episode where some of the actors were interviewed and stuff like that, and he was talking about he doesn't care how silly or dumb he looks, and
Mhm.
you can see that that's really just such good acting and such
Yeah.
commitment to the bit, and I loved that scene. As an actor myself, it just kind of spoke to me.
And
What about
that
you?
scene
What's
was
your
so
favorite?
much
Oh,
fun. Yeah.
yes,
Watching him trying to stomp Dunk's feet and Dunk trying
right.
to avoid it. My
And then I
favorite
think I
scene,
saw
yeah,
Dunk stump his foot at the
yeah,
end too,
he
and then
he
and
he
they
did
both
that.
kind of stared at each other like, "What?"
Yeah, he was kind of surprised, I think, at Dunk's boldness.
Yeah. But you were
Yeah,
saying what your favorite is.
yeah, my favorite is the Dunk and Egg meeting because I've read that
Mm,
scene in the book so many times, and watching it come to you know come alive and seeing it
mhm.
on the screen was just something else. It was I was so happy to watch that scene, and I feel like the show made their dynamic so much more wholesome. uh, it was
Right?
really, yeah, this episode, for those uh, who haven't read the books, they might have felt it wasn't there wasn't a lot of action and not all those things, but the action is coming, and you need
Yes.
to, yeah, you need to keep watching and be patient with it.
Right. And also for those of you who are watching with us now or later, we have a poll up. We're sharing our favorite scenes, but also share
Yeah,
yours.
yeah, let us know what's your favorite moment in this episode. And one thing, what do you think, like one thing that worked well for the episode? What do you think, Morgan?
So overall, I think it was uh Dunk feeling so out of place everywhere. Just you could
Yeah.
see how uncomfortable he was in his surroundings and his environment. You could see the times where he was a little more comfortable because he was used to like the
Yeah.
more free style of things, but when he's around all the high lords and talking to people and having to be a knight,
Yeah.
even in just conversational ways, he was clearly so very uncomfortable. And I thought the show did a really good job of highlighting those moments and really making us feel the awkward.
Yeah. You can practically feel his nervousness, his hesitation, especially when he goes to meet Lionel.
Right?
Yeah. And yeah, and for me, I think them shuffling around the events that happened in the books, moving things. Like in the books, Dunk goes to the elm tree first, and then goes back to the, the Ashford Meadow and all. So I feel like these they wove the events quite well for the show. In the books,
Yes,
it made sense, but I don't think people on the show would have liked that as much. So, Dunk going to Ashford first and meeting and going straight to register his name and then coming back, that made a lot of sense. So, I feel like them shuffling these events worked a lot for the show.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, and are there any books to show changes that you noticed?
I mean, several. The
Uh,
first, uh, what I'm trying to remember because I did just reread it last week, but now the show is
yeah.
pushing the memories of the book right out of my brain. But I'm almost certain that the Targaryen, the drunken Targaryen, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Darren.
Darren,
Darren.
thank you. I'm almost certain Darren wasn't at the inn, and
I
so
think
them adding him
no,
in there.
he was at the end, and when he saw Dunk, he added the prophecy as well. But they
Yes, that's the part.
edited out the prophecy. And another thing they added was the innkeeper lady drinking from the cup before serving it to Dunk. They've added a lot of humor as well. That
Yeah, they're
was
really digging
fun.
into the humor. I think that when I was watching the interviews after the show, they pointed out that that's why they added the
Yeah,
pooping by a tree scene. Where that they wanted people to get the vibe of this is gonna be humorous and a little bit extreme in the
yeah,
perspective. Um, but yeah, so we saw that the puppet show was very changed.
yeah.
The what else? The interview with the gentleman who is running the joust,
Plumber. Yeah,
that was spread out quite more, and his character was
yeah.
way
Him adding the
more
Ashford chair.
yes, yes, exactly. Um, these are just some of the big changes that I've noticed, and also, of course, the dance party, you know?
Yeah. And like I mentioned earlier, Dunk went straight to Ashford instead of going to the elm tree. And I like that they showed a reason why he went to the elm tree instead of staying with the knights. Through Sir Stephen, because he felt very uncomfortable when Sir Stephen pointed out that he was a hedge knight. When he said, I have matters to attend to, and he was like, yeah, to the hedges. And also he was like, I will not be comfortable with this company, and that's why he is going to the elm tree instead of rather going straight to the elm tree first.
Yeah, and we don't see a lot of the other hedge knights, but also their roles in the overall story didn't seem all that significant aside from just setting some vibes. And I think the
Yeah.
show is just deciding to set vibes in a slightly different way. But the
Mhm.
vibes are still being set.
Yeah, they're just showing what being a hedge knight means, and the story will move forward. We didn't get to see any, like, not a lot of Targaryens in it, and they didn't even mention that Targaryen name in this episode, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I don't think the actual word Targaryen was said by anybody.
Yeah, and there were some other changes that as well, like uh, it was Egg mentioning the l- shooting star bringing luck and all, and what else?
And Dunk saying, "Is the luck just for us?"
Yeah, I really love
That's
that
always
scene as well.
that's always been a significant quote in the book to me, and I really
Yeah,
liked how they performed it because they performed
yeah,
it exactly how I imagined it, right? They
yeah.
the true uncertainty, like, yes, you are a dreaming child, and I'm not like, I want to dream, but also maybe if something's good luck, I'm not the one who gets the good luck.
Yeah, he's not feeling confident. And another
Absolutely.
thing I liked, they emphasized and showed why Dunk decided to make egg his square. He said, "It doesn't seem like you eat well, so that's why I'm making you my square, so you will have food in your belly and a shelter." So that was a
Right,
really nice thing. Yeah,
because Dunk, I'd say Dunk to Egg really gives not dad and son vibe, but more like uncle and nephew, right? Like, I care about you. I'm not your dad, but I will hold you to account. We're kind of like family, but also like, I kind of want to just take care of you a little bit. I want to make sure that you're okay,
and the smile on Egg's face was so sweet when he said that.
right?
Yeah, and he promised not to beat him except when he deserved it.
Right? And in the books, that's how he operates.
Yeah, but based on the flashbacks, I'm not sure. Like if it like we disagree on this point, but I'm not sure if Sir Alan did the same. At least
Yeah,
based on the
no.
flashbacks.
Well, so I think the difference that I see based on those flashbacks, it's not that he did deserve every time he got hit except once. It's that he thinks he deserved all of those
Yeah,
things, right? That's
yeah,
he sees things with rose-colored glasses. He tries to explain
and
things
he is very
away.
quick to blame himself for anything going wrong.
He is. And so I think the reason why he emphasizes the one time that it wasn't his fault is because that time was so cut and dry. Something got stolen, another kid did it. He knows he didn't do it. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
his
way that
pride
he
was
could
hurt,
be at
maybe.
fault. Yeah, and so there's no way he could be at fault. So in that one instance, his brain said, "Yeah, you're innocent, you're vindicated." But in all
Yeah,
the other times, he probably thought, "Oh, I could have done better. Oh, I could have done something differently.
yeah.
Oh, I should have acted in another way." And now I'm getting hit, so that's probably my fault, so I deserve it.
Yeah, and he was blamed for being a thief, and that is something he did not like. He is not the kind of person who would do. So when he was beaten up for that, maybe he really didn't like uh, being blamed for something he didn't do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, in his childhood, there was a lot of stuff about thievery and what have you, and it's kind of interesting because it's a recurring theme, especially in this episode, right?
Yeah,
Because what is the first thing he says when he sees Egg on the horse in his armor? He calls him a thief,
yeah,
right? And sure, Egg is playing with stuff that doesn't belong to him, but
yeah.
it's not like he's riding off with it. He's not leaving with any of those things. I think
Yeah.
the urge to call him a thief specifically comes from past experiences of Dunks and himself being called a thief for minor offenses or what have you. And I think Dunk is projecting a little bit in that scene, but that's just my opinion.
I think you're right because even when he trusts and accepts Egg as his squire, he's still worried that Egg might take his stuff and run off. And he thinks he's a fool for trusting him, but he still does it anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So- And the timeline shift, what else did we notice besides Dung going to Ashford first and meet going to register his name, then coming back? Yeah, we're meeting Sir Manfred Dondarrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that meeting was
Well, and
changed as well. Yeah,
right, and also all the delays with the women, right?
yeah,
Um the prostitutes, and that added that interesting scene about the girl lying there as if dead, and they're
yeah,
treating her like they're dressing her like a corpse. And it makes me wonder, are they indicating that one of the other characters that's going to be showing has a thing for necrophilia? um because that's what I was assuming they were setting up for, some sort of necrophilia scene where she pretends to be dead.
yeah. I
I don't
was
know
a
if they're
little
going to
bit
show us
confused
that, but
why they would do it, but I think you do have a point. And they are working for Sir Manfred Dondarrion, so maybe he
right.
has a thing for yeah, necrophilia. And he also like the horse mentioned other people's wives and all, so they are showing us what kind of person he is. So he's definitely not the best option for Dunk to go to to vouch for
Yep.
him.
But Dunk is world aware, but also he's he's an innocent little pill bug. All
Yeah.
right,
He's so he looks so naive to us talking to them.
right,
And his head bumping on the when he goes to meet.
right.
Yeah,
Not only is head bumping, but did you like? I don't know how tall the actual actor is, but and how tall the other actors in the
yeah,
scene after he bumped his head, but he bumps his head and then he walks over, and he's easily two heads or more taller than everybody else in the room
yeah.
that's walking around him.
And they
He is
cleverly threw in
massive.
half giant, half man through what was Raymond? Yeah, he
Yes,
called him half giant, half man. So, do you
I'm
think
pretty
that
sure.
was a foreshadowing or hint?
Well, I think there's in the books and stuff,
Yeah,
there are rumors that he is descendant of giants, and that through his blood, Brienne of Tarth is descendant of giants.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought it was a good touch to throw that in there. But he really
yeah,
doesn't know much about his family, so who knows? He could be.
yeah. He was an
I don't
orphan.
necessarily think so, but he could be.
Yeah, he never knew his parents, so we don't know. It's possible, or maybe one of his ancestors. Yeah. So, did you notice any foreshadowing?
I mean, Darren
Yeah,
Darren's commentary was definitely foreshadowing of future stuff. Um,
you
I'm
stay
not going
away
to get
from
into what
me.
everybody. I'm not going to get
Yeah,
into what all the foreshadowing is foreshadowing for, but Darren was
yeah.
foreshadowing. Um,
Being scared of Dunk.
I feel like the what was that?
Being scared of Dunk.
Yes, being scared of Dunk. I think the whores were foreshadowing. Sure, they were setting up for some sort of necrophiliac event, but
Yeah,
there was commentary about being careful with his life, and how it's the only life how he's not going to get another one, things like that. Or with his
yeah,
body, be careful with his body because he's not going to get another one. And that seemed they really seemed to be focused. There seemed to be a lot of commentary about death and people dying and the
yeah.
fragility of life and things like that. And I
And
felt that that
Clever
was
also mentioned something about a farmer going against who was it? Royalty or a nobility?
I
That will
can't
be
remember, but something
entertaining.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be entertaining for everyone to watch.
Yes. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are the main foreshadowing things I took note of. And of course, the comment about is the luck for us only?
Yeah. And the banners that we noticed in this episode, I noticed House Baratheon's banner, House Lannister, House Beesbury, and Dondarrion, and House Ashford. Were there any other banners?
You're way better at the catching the little details than I am. So I didn't catch any of the banners. I'm too fixated on the characters and their interactions. Um, you're the details oriented one.
Actually, I've paused the screenshots of the trailers and zoomed in and
Yeah,
like focused on the details a lot. So maybe that's why those jumped out, and like I noticed
absolutely.
those. Yeah, and okay. So moving on. Which moment do you think was worth rewatching?
Well, for me, the moment that I actually did rewatch because I watched it and then I went back several seconds and watched it again was that moment that I've referenced a few times, which is um, the conversation about the falling star and
Yeah,
what luck means. To me, that moment is the most important moment of
yeah,
the entire episode.
yeah. I agree.
How about you? What
Right.
moment would you like to rewatch?
Yeah, mine is also the same because yeah, they are so adorable. Like, how can you not rewatch them? Like every single Duncan X scene, it's so much fun and wholesome to watch. It kind like we mentioned last time in our last live stream. It's kind of like Arya and Hound's dynamic, but a lot more wholesome. So yeah, it's a lot more fun to rewatch. But I think the whole episode can be rewatched as well.
Yeah, that's usually my strategy. Watch the whole episode, see it all together. Every time I rewatch an episode of any of
Yeah,
the Game of Thrones shows, every time we watch an episode, I get new things out of them that I didn't get the last time I'd seen it, or I get
yeah.
refreshed on things that I had forgotten about in the past, and they're always worth a
Mhm.
rewatch.
And by the way, did you notice uh, Lionel Baratheon was trying to say something 4,000 years ago? So, what do you think he was trying to say that he forgot?
Well, so I don't think that he forgot it. I think he was okay. So he was saying that the first joust of their
Yeah,
people was supposedly in that location 4,000 years ago, but that he's drunk first of all, but
yeah,
he's trying to say that he doesn't think that something so fun could be
yeah,
invented by humans. And so he's saying, so who invented it? Um
yeah,
and I think he was trying to originally say I like to theorize who he thought might have invented it, like the gods invented jousting for our pleasure or what have you. And then he completely lost track of what he was
I
going to
think he
say.
said
And so it's
something
like
like
just asked.
men didn't start or create it or something like that, right?
So who did? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't think the timeline matches that because the Targaryens came to Westeros. When was it? I think,
About 180, 200 years before, something like that.
yeah. um, And 4,000 years ago, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, not necessarily. Remember, jousts aren't derived from the Targaryens. Uh,
Yeah.
Westeros has been a warring feudal set of kingdoms for
Since
thousands
the,
of years.
yeah. I think since
This is
the
how.
Andals came, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and jousting is more like an Andal type thing, but like
Yeah.
George, when he writes this story,
Hmm.
it's not like real history. I mean, he references events like their real history, but everything is on a grander scale, right?
Yeah.
Um, Time passes slowly in Westeros. The seasons are long and
Yeah.
strange, and the
Mm-hmm.
the society progresses in far slower periods. So in human history, regular our history,
Yeah.
4,000 years before, society was so different that English society didn't exist as a people. Pretty much, there were
Yeah.
completely different cultures that were still ruling there. Um, but George spreads it out over much longer periods of time, because of the magic that is essential in the early parts of the histories of Westeros. The magic makes technological advances move slower, right? Because
Yeah.
people are relying on that, and dragon power is changing the world for people. So
And I
they
think
aren't
the
significantly
dragons are
advancing.
related to magic because it's said that after the dragons were gone from this world, the seasons also started growing shorter. The summers started growing shorter, and the winters started growing longer and cooler. So
Well, yeah, I mean, the Song of Ice and Fire is
yeah,
all about that. It's about the fire, the dragon side waning, and the White Walker, the ice side, growing
yeah,
stronger and trying to conflict in that
yeah,
way.
yeah. And 4,000 years ago, I think the annals came to Westeros for the first time. So they would have been too busy to uh, even think about jousting. They were probably busy conquering the kingdoms. Except the north, they were able to conquer every kingdom in the south of Westeros, right? So I think
Well, so
whatever, yeah,
yeah, so the Andals came through, they conquered a bunch of shit, but that's the thing, is they brought culture with them. Now,
yeah,
in the show, he specifically said the first joust in
yeah,
this country,
yeah,
right? So that's not to say that the Andals didn't already have a tradition of jousting back home. The Andals are where knights come from, right?
yeah,
So not jousts are not just a party. They're a test for knights. They're a way that knights
uh,
prove their worth
right,
and what have you. And it's knightly culture that makes jousts a thing. Now, jousts have become spectator sports and gambling things and what have you, but that's not where they started. And so uh, I
right,
think I think really the Andals brought the tradition with them. And while they weren't sitting around inventing new jousting traditions, what have you, I mean, they might have even invented the tradition then and there. But while they're conquering the lands,
yeah.
they are celebrating. They are training. Are preparing for more conquest. There's going to be downtime when people get together and do training
Right.
exercises and compete with each other. It's probably not the same as the way that they see jousts in Game of Thrones, because that's much later jousting, where it's become just a sport, just a gambling exercise and what have you. If for the early jousters, it would have been a training exercise, and a chance to truly prove that who was the best and whatnot. It would be a way to raise boys to men. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think you are right. It's definitely possible that this custom already existed in Essos, and when they came to Westeros, they brought that custom. They didn't invent it right then and there. So if that's the case, maybe Sir Lionel wasn't completely speaking nonsense. Like maybe there was some sense in it, but because he was drunk, he wasn't able to say it properly.
Right. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting from
Yeah,
him, is that he is somewhat profound. He is somewhat aware, and that's probably it's kind of like Darren, right? He's somewhat
Yeah,
profound, he's somewhat aware, and he drinks so that he doesn't have to think too much. It's a
yeah,
common theme in a lot of different stories that that people who are ahead of other people in their time either
yeah. And even when Dunk asked something, Lionel said, "I I'm drunk," or something like that, right? What was that
yeah.
scene? Yeah. So okay, so what are your overall thoughts about this episode?
I will say I loved almost every part of it. Uh, I really didn't like him pooping behind the tree.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
understand why they did it. I
Yeah,
understand why they did it. I respect it. Not my taste.
same, same.
I was not pleased. But it's not going to turn me away from the show. But the rest of the episode was intriguing. They're clearly making it a deeper they're digging deeper than the short stories did, and I'm really interested to see what extra material they're adding in. I'm curious if some of it is stuff that George has alluded to the producers and directors and whatnot, and whether they're adding in more lore from his Westeros or if they're making stuff up. I don't know, but I'm very curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, same. I loved this episode, especially how adorable Dunk was, and yeah, that episode. They did change a lot of things in it, but it still felt like they were faithful to the books. And if you've read the books, you'll definitely love this episode. And even if you haven't read the books, you will like maybe not as much as Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, but know that action is coming and there are more interesting stuff. So, those who don't know who Sir Dunk is, it might seem a little bit slower paced, but keep watching that show and it will be worth it. What do you think about this episode? Let us know in the comments.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah. All right, we are going to start wrapping up here. This was the Hedge Night Live, our first reaction discussion to a song of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We'll go live at 11:30 p.m. IST. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. I'll be posting a full detailed episode breakdown with details you might have missed, where I'll go frame by frame and dive deeper into the lore and book changes. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode, and we'll be right back here after the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Morgan. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.